Yes. Hello! So let's talk about handpans.
Is one of the only instruments where there's a fight happening between hard and soft, and soft wins.
Hey guys! We are here again in the tuning show, and today as a guest we have Andrin Haag. Yeah, man.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Welcome. How are you?
I'm very good, thank you. How are you?
Good. Yeah, you are living now in England.
I do live in England. At the moment, actually, I live in Switzerland. I live about 40 minutes away from here. I live at my mum's place.
Yeah.
Close to Basel. But yes, I do live in England for my studies, which is about half time of the year. And then I'm always moving forth and back.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, but I've seen some spots in London.
Yeah. So let's talk about handpans.
I have met this UFO through funny story and very predictable Hang Massive on YouTube.
Ah, okay.
Once again.
Yes.
And also the song was called Once Again.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Yes, it was a very special moment for me and probably for everyone else that discovered the video, because it's a very beautifully captured video and beautiful sound. And you know, I was into steel drums before that. Not really. I was never playing it, but I was in a music school, and we would use steel drums for a for a kind of as a like a vase where we collect monies from the parents that would come to our shows.
Ah.
You know, we never used it in a musical way.
Oh, you never played them,
No,
you use as a vase.
At some point after one concert, I just used the instrument because it was empty, you know, we got the money out of it, and then it was empty, and I realized it makes tones, you know, it makes music, and then I just played with my fingers, and I got really intrigued, and it was very fascinating for me because it combined percussive sounds and harmony. And then I tried to look it up. That was probably when I was like 14 or 15. And when I looked it up, obviously there was a YouTube recommendation for Hang Massive, and then I was like, you know, that very special moment. And YouTube was the way.
YouTube, yes, I think the big main thing who brought the handpan in the world was YouTube. All of these first guys there.
Yeah, luckily.
Yeah, cool. And you have a background with a kind of percussive school, or?
I was never really taught in that way, but it definitely shaped my musical being as it is now. It was mainly through my parents, through both my parents essentially, because they went to a workshop series actually over a couple of years' time, I think, that was called Taketina, and it still is called Taketina. It's a way of receiving, of feeling music with the entire body. So to you know, it kind of makes you realize that music can be felt with your feet, because you start stepping the pulse of a musical piece with your feet. It might be really easy, you know, like a 4/4 pulse, and then you add something kind of syncopated. You add a 3 on top with your clapping hands, and then you start singing, and the whole body is really challenged in that moment. But when you really don't think about what you're doing, you enter this very special state of the flow, which I think is what Taketina is all about. And you mainly do it in a group of maybe 15 to 20 people. And out of these 15 to 20 people, my dad and my mom were always there. And I was a small kid. Actually, I was even there before I was born. So I was in the belly of my mom, yeah. And I think I just kind of sucked it all up, this whole energy, because she used to play the surdo.
Yes, for sure it's very deep. For sure you can
it's very
see
low, you know.
inside,
She was carrying the pulse mainly. She was playing the surdo, like this super low, boom boom, mighty bassy sound. And
you were already dancing.
I was absorbing. I must have been absorbing. And then at some point later in my life, I decided to participate in the workshops as well, because I was, you know, I wanted to know where my roots are, why I feel like music all the time. Why I feel like I need to drum on every weird thing I find, you know. And then, yeah, there's a place really close by in NYSZA, which was one of the first places in Switzerland where these workshops took place. And Andreas Gerber, who's the teacher of this method, if you want to call it that, is a really close friend of our family. And now, actually, 2 or 3 days ago, I went there and I was lucky enough to co-teach a workshop with him.
Yeah.
So I was finally in the position to actually see it from the other perspective as well, and that's just something very beautiful.
Yeah,
you know, when you get to see these people that sometimes are not even musical at all, and they completely struggle to keep the pulse even. But then at some point they realize, okay, my body is doing that without me thinking about this, and they start flowing, maybe with closed eyes, and you start to make movements with the circle, you know, in the room. It's just something very special that I like having in my life over and over again. Cool. I was never really taught that way, so I think you have to study that in order to officially teach it. But it's definitely one really big influence in my life.
Yeah, he was here for the concert, your concert. Huh? It was I had a small conversation with him about Brazilian music. It was very cool. He really liked and know a lot.
Yeah.
I think he have been there.
I think maybe he wasn't here for my concert, but I think he was here for Archer and Trip, maybe.
Ah, okay.
And that's when I was here as well, and I was really surprised to see him in this.
Yeah.
You know,
because
in
Archer also get some of these.
Yaron is a Takatina teacher as well. Yeah.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. But so if I understand, you have already music background in the family. At home, you guys would have instruments, or you have music there.
Yeah, we would always sing when I was a small kid. Before we went to bed, my parents would always come next to my bed, and we would sing kids songs, or maybe, you know, world music songs, or songs from any culture really, because they went to a choir that was mainly focusing on that, you know, having pieces of Brazilian music, of Romanian music, of Asian music, any sort of cultural music, and then we would sing that together and try to harmonize as well. So my dad would sing low, my mom would sing a bit higher, and then my brother and me would maybe sing the main line, and I think that's cool. What's really taught me to sing, or to feel harmonies and music. So and listening to music obviously as well.
Yeah, so this is interesting because you kind of have, since the belly, the music in your family, and now you are doing a transition for studying at university in London.
Yeah.
And how is this? Because before it's kind of natural process, and now you probably have a lot of theory. How is the university there for you?
It was a tricky step for me, because I was going for the direction of teaching. I was commencing to start pedagogy here in Switzerland, and then I felt like I need more music in my life. So I tried to get all the courses within these studies that had something to do with music, for example guitar playing, but then I found myself playing 3 chords over and over again just to be able to accompany kids' music, you know, in school, and it was never enough. And then I decided to leave it there and maybe catch it up some, you know, at some point later in my life. And then it was a big step to actually move to London. Luckily I didn't do that just on my own, but I moved there with 2 of my all-time best friends that I know from primary school. So we would get to know each other when we were running around on the school court and throwing snowballs around and stuff. And
all you guys are studying music? Yeah,
okay. Exactly. So we moved there as a group of 3, being part of a band that we founded in Basel already, and then there's a 4th guy, he went to Berlin. And then for the 2nd year of studies, the Berlin guy, who's the bassist of our band, joined us in London, so we're all reunited in London. And we're sharing a flat there as well, and we're really close to our university, 5 minutes, and having a good time. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
And the handpan is something on university, or you're working with something else at the moment?
I'm kind of going places with music, so I'm studying contemporary vocals. I'm not studying percussion. I'm not studying handpan because I think maybe you can't even do that yet. Sadly, I don't know. Can you?
I don't know. Yeah, maybe you're gonna be the first one.
I'm gonna fight for it. I'm gonna make it as studies. Yeah, that would be nice. But I'm studying vocals, and then, you know, I'm the singer of this band that I was just talking about. But then I also have this handpan trio. So for a long time, the handpan was just an instrument that I played for myself, you know, in my bedroom. And then I slowly got to know more and more people that played it at handpan festivals. And through the community online, but then I realized I wanna use it in a band environment, and then I gathered with this Indian singer lady, Ananya, who I got to know at my university as well. She's studying the same thing as I do, and David Campese, who's from Italy, who's a fabulous classical guitarist, and then I found myself playing the handpan with two completely different instruments and singing at the same time, which still now is a beautiful experience, and is something out of the comfort zone as well. I left my bedroom, stopped playing all the same patterns for myself over and over again, and tried to make the handpan work in a band. You know, listening to the other instruments, what the other instruments are doing, thinking of how the arrangements could work with this instrument, combining different scales, having one handpan on the lap, another one to the left, maybe even another one there, seeing what kind of compositions you can make with that. It was very challenging but very fulfilling as well.
Ago that you told that you want to record a CD with your friends here in Switzerland.
Yes. Yeah.
And this is this band that you are a vocalist.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm the lead singer and pianist as well. And we have actually recorded everything already. So we've been in a pretty good studio in Prague in the Czech Republic in June, and we've recorded our first ever album, because before that we've only released EPs. And so we're in the middle of a mixing process right now, shooting music videos at the moment. We're going to shoot a music video on Monday, and we're going to release it on the 27th of September. So that's going to be the first single. Album's going to come in 2020, and that's what's keeping me busy at the moment.
Yeah, man, cool.
When was the first time? The first time we met? Since when do I wake up and sweat?
And courses maybe in the future? Workshops?
Yeah, definitely, yeah. It's definitely something that gives me a lot of joy and passion. And I like learning from the students as well. It's very inspiring. Just to be in a room with people that want to learn something from you, but you kind of just sit down to them and you show them that you're at the same level, you know. You share your knowledge and you get something back from them that you maybe have never heard of something, about. For example, there was this one quote in the workshop that we did last Sunday, where Andreas, the guy that I was just talking about, Andreas was leading the workshop, and he was talking about how the handpan is one of the only instruments where there's a fight happening between hard and soft, and soft wins.
Yeah.
Do you get it?
No, tell us, please.
It's a very beautiful quote, and this kind of really inspired me and taught me something. We were talking about a good touch on the handpan. You know, if you want to get a beautiful, long, sustained sound of a tone field, you know, you don't want to be like that. You can do that, but for a different purpose.
Yes.
But if you want to get a very beautiful open sound, it's a fight between hard, so the material, and soft, because you want to make sure you play it soft, and soft wins because soft is going to make the more beautiful sound.
Yes.
You know, it's very beautiful. So you keep learning these sort of cute little messages, and that's what's really inspiring for me.
How you do the microphoning of the instrument? Because this is interesting. A lot of different setups, different way to do it. How is your style? How you do it?
It's not necessarily my style. It hasn't really become my style yet, because so far I've not always been the one person responsible for the microphone setup.
Uh-huh.
So most of the times I was lucky enough to rely on a very professional sound guy, like a sound engineer that was setting up the proper mics. But I've made some good experience with Rode NT5s. So they're really small condenser pencil mics, and these ones work really well for the use of electronical effects as well.
Okay.
So if you want to use a pedal board, for example, in order to maybe distort the sound of a handpan. I saw you and Matsumoto Zok have been talking about this.
Yes.
Kind of emulating sounds of the handpan. My experience with Rode NT5s were really good. And with the contact microphones, I have made good experience with the Schertler dynamic. You can just basically glue it or stick it onto the rim of the handpan. I personally haven't tried another Brahma. I want to try it at some point because I've seen loads of people using it. And then a really nice setup was here at this place. When you were using Neumann microphones, I think you were using that one somewhere for the lower end frequencies. I don't know exactly what kind of setup you were using, but the sound engineer, I think it was David.
Mm-hmm.
He was making a really good job, and
yes.
On the YouTube video you can really feel the power of the instruments. It's very well mixed, and I was generally very happy with the amplification towards the audience, and afterwards with the recording of the whole concert. Very nice sound.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Thank you, Andrin.
Thank you, Flavio.
Yes, until next time.
Until next time.
Learn to leave, learn to grow, learn to give and let go. Just walk away.
Thank you guys for tuning in to the Tuning Show. Thank you, Flavio, for having me. Thank you, EchoSoundSculptures, for having me once again. If you've liked this video, please hit the like button, ring the bell, and subscribe in order to make sure you don't miss any more of these series. And if you want to find the links that Flavio and me were talking about, either of my band where I'm singing or of the band where I'm playing the handpan, you'll find it below in the subscription box. Have a nice day and see you next time. Bye bye.
And she came to me and she said like, excuse me, but your instrument, you can only find it in Congo, right? So I look at this girl, I was like, why Congo?
Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for following.